immediately, so I wouldn't mind seeing either of those. Instead, electing to maybe go bridge spam. We're still gonna have to see a few more cards out of him, and it could honestly be RG. And he might have just kind of taken the concept of Sandbox's game number 1 and used it himself for game number 2.
Barb Barrel, Royal Ghost. Very quick cycle. And there we go. Fast cycle RG for Aslan. And you know, Josh, we've both been in this league for a long time in our various ways, and it's interesting to see the evolution of Royal Giant, especially when you actually add in the evolution to it, where the EVA or all the Royal Giant decks were so heavy, so thick with 3 and 4 elixir cards in the order versions, right? RG Lightning, whether Lumberjack or Guards, Baby Dragon, right? A very thick version of Royal Giant versus now the Royal Giant decks tend to be faster like this one.
Yeah, and I mean, it's definitely just the evolution of the skill of the players inside Clash Royale. Before, we didn't really know how to build proper decks, so we're seeing, you know, Inferno Tower or something on defense when really they should be using the cannon and then cycling properly. A lot of it is just players are so skilled right now, they want to make as many decisions as possible to allow themselves to outplay. And we used to not see that. It used to, you know, we tried to build as heavy a deck as possible so that way we don't have to make 14 decisions throughout an entire game. It used to be a lot easier.
Well, luckily for you, you're in the commentator booth now. So a little bit different job. Barb Barrel goes out. Will Evo Royal Giant get a shot? And it doesn't. So a little damage on the left-hand side as we get into double elixir time. Done earlier by Aslan, but Sandbox holding. Now when you're looking at the counters for Aslan between the Skellies, the Barb Barrel, the Ghost, and the Hunter, it feels like he does have a lot of options to control the drill, especially given that this is a regular drill, not Evo.
Yeah, he absolutely has a ton of options, and I mean, really, Sandbox is looking to get, you know, 2, maybe even 1. He's trying to get 2 good offensive pushes, and then the rest of his damage is just going to be poison. He's going to wait till Aslan gets something out of cycle. We see a beautiful Evo snowball, but even as beautiful as it is, it's still only getting 200 chip damage worth of HP. So it's going to be a very long, arduous game that we're going to see right here, but you know, it's still anybody's match so far.
And we did see the Demolisher make the connection on the right-hand side, so Sandbox with the lead as we go into sudden death overtime. 21-73 to 20-38. Not enough elixir for Lightning on Aslan's side. And able to hold is Sandbox as we go into the final 90.
Yeah, another beautiful defense right there, and it's so interesting to see how he's defending it. Usually we see the quickest cycle possible, so we see the skeletons, but instead with the goblins on defense against these, even these Evo RGs, he's still defending them very nicely. It's an interesting interaction that we don't get to see where you're placing these small, weak troops on top of the Evo RG, and they're still getting their value.
17-18. Sandbox continues to chip away, looking to try to make this a quick one to open up our contest today. And continues as the Poisons get good value on both the Ghost, the Hunter, and the Tower. Triple spell, you know, I didn't call it out earlier, Josh, and the triple spell here was a little bit interesting, and it is working out wonderfully for Sandbox.
Yeah, and finally Aslan, now that we're hitting triple elixir, he's able to cycle his RGs, he's able to put some sort of offensive pressure on top of him. But Sandbox, I mean, he's got the drill, he's got the Tesla, he's got every answer that you could possibly have, and this is just too tough for Aslan. He's now going to be able to spell cycle, and I think we're going to see a sweep.
Yeah, and you just saw a big breath out of Aslan as he knows the lay of the land now. Does not get the RG shot, the Tesla there, just in time. And Sandbox going to kick off our day with a clean 2-0 and a really, really stalwart performance at the end to prevent the Royal Giants from connecting in triple elixir. And we also go ahead and get a pretty fun Prince celebration, one that's become almost a meme now. 9994 damage courtesy of Sandbox. You know, Josh, you were talking about the skill of Sandbox with Royal Giant as we see Aslan go lava, as we've seen him go many times before. What is it about Sandbox's Royal Giant play or play style that leads to his success?
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of it is just, it's the same thing with Ruben. They have such an intense understanding of the macro and how you're supposed to play every situation. When other players are going to struggle to figure out, oh, do I pop the monk right here? Do I wait 3 seconds? Sandbox has it drilled into his head. Okay, when the hunter is on this exact tile, I need to make sure that the monk is protecting it so that way he can't get value with this spell. There are just so many little interactions, and it's very clear that he's dedicated to his craft when he plays the RG.
And, you know, Josh, you and I were talking about this of how much will we see Clash Royale's newest card in the game today. And, you know, you expressed a little skepticism after seeing it yesterday, but here we are coming out in the lava deck for Aslan.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very fun card, do not get me wrong. I absolutely do love that card. But we're seeing right here, it just feels like he doesn't really have the correct DPS. Aslan struggling a lot. That is an Evo RG on top of the tower. It's going to get at least another shot. It absolutely does. Is he going to put the lava in front? No, we're going to see a reset and the lava going in on the left lane. The Sandbox, I feel like he might... This just feels like another RG opportunity. Instead, he's going to elect to go Hunter and then Monk in front, trying to protect it.
Final 30 seconds and a little bit less in the quarter. And we see some of that Evo Hunter getting into its work. Lava Hound getting in pretty deep as the curse doesn't quite clear off the Hunter. And that is a couple of elixirs spent that did not do its job whatsoever. RG should turn. Does it get one shot? No, the Evo Valk does just enough to defend, and we will get some sudden death overtime out of Aslan and Sandbox.
Aslan trying to create pressure going in with the miner. I mean, this plus the Goblin spell, it's going to be able to do a little bit of work, but we're just going to see a beautiful Monk activation. Defends everything beautifully. He's only taking 500 damage on the left, 300 damage on the right, and now we have another Monk in tow. Not going to be able to pop the ability, but Aslan, I mean, the Goblin Hut, I don't love that placement. I think it's going to be too easy for him to get spell value, and we see that just needs to cycle to a fireball, and we're going to see game one go to Sandbox.
Monk will hold, Fishboy will go out and work on the miner, and as you said, Sandbox just a little cycle away. Aslan knows it's already over. GG, well played. Game one for Sandbox, barely broke a sweat.
Yeah, and I really think had Aslan gone with my